All right. So, here I am. Oop, there, the tree in the background. The night before Christmas Eve. So I came home after being gone overnight and all day, whatever, and I decided to just settle in, obviously put a fire in the hot box or the fire box and flip on my Christmas tree here. And then I decided that I wanted to cook something up. I don't know. I like being spontaneous. I like tapping into my parts that are curious about playing in the kitchen. I do have a passion for cooking, home cooking, gourmet cooking. I used to do multi-course meals, 4, 5, 6, whatever, cook for 8 people and so it's part of what I love to do. I don't do it all the time, fancy food like that, even less now, but I still enjoy being in the kitchen and cooking. So I'm going to do something different. First of all, I'm going to put this down because I don't want it to keep moving. So let me angle it right here, because if I hold on to it, it'll, there. Oh, I got a lot of light behind me. I am no professional camera person, but that's okay. I don't have to be. It's me. I'm Patricia. Patricia's just showing what she likes to do in the kitchen. But anyway, and offering you health tips while I'm doing it. So I enjoy cooking. It is the holidays. The other night I showed you how to make a healthier version of a traditional Buena Vista Irish coffee. And I trust you made yours and you enjoyed your experience of that. Tonight I'm going to make something that I haven't made for a little while. I'm going to make calamari rings with cocktail sauce. And calamari rings, so calamari is squid, as we know. Most of us must know that. Squid is very low in fat, really high in protein. And mommy and daddy, you can sneak it to the kids because it's going to be breaded and fried or sauteed. Now, this is obviously a healthy version, and I have my tools for the job here, and I'll show you as I go along and the ingredients. But right now, let's start. Patricia. So, what am I going to start with? I'm going to start with making a, hello, sunshine. Bright lights up there. I'm going to start with making the cocktail sauce. I could have purchased one, but I don't know. I've just thought it'd be fun. And I'm going to screw around because this is not going to be like perfection in terms of ingredients. But yeah, let's just see what happens, right? I'm just as curious as you. All right, so let me angle the camera. There we go. So the first ingredients here in this particular recipe for the cocktail sauce is organic tomato paste, okay? You can get that at any decent health food store. And then I have salt and pepper. And just to let you know, yes, peeps, everything here is organic, okay? So I'm not going to keep repeating that. Why? Because organic by far is healthier than conventional. Yeah, people will argue, oh, it's expensive, I can't afford it. Well, you know that old commercial, pay me now or pay me later. Maybe you might want to consider investing in some organic food for the long-term health benefits. But anyway, long story short, everything's organic. So organic tomato paste, salt and pepper. Then I have some random spices that were in my cabinet. Garlic powder, chili powder, and then a little bit of cayenne pepper. So let me turn this down, because that's the heat for the calamari later. So first of all, I actually took a soap and water and I washed the top of this, because oftentimes in the grocery store there's a lot of dust and crap and junk that gets on these, and when you open them, the can, the stuff can get inside the food. So you want to make sure that you have a nice, clean, sterile lid, or else that stuff is going to go in your belly. So that's that. Here's my can opener. So I'm going to just twist. Boom. Voila. See? It's open. And then, meanwhile, I'm not going to lick that because I don't want to cut my tongue, number one. And number two, it's really not that exciting yet. Let me test something here. What am I doing? I'm not just farting around here. I took a wooden spoon and I stuck it in the hot oil, the cast iron hot oil. And you can tell when the oil is ready when it starts to bubble around the spoon. And I don't think you can see that, but when I first put it in there, it did start to bubble. And I don't want it to start smoking, so I'm going to turn it really low, maybe even turn it off in a minute. But anyway, back to the tartar or the cocktail sauce for my calamari rings. So the recipe calls for, it's 2 tablespoons, so I'm going to kind of wing it. I'm not going to use my proper measuring spoons. I'm just going to get a tablespoon. So hold on there. Tablespoon. There you go. Tablespoon, teaspoon. See the difference, right? Mommy, baby. One's bigger than the other. So, 2 tablespoons of paste. And you can put a little extra. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, when you're in the kitchen and you're cooking, you know when it has to be perfect? When you're baking. Baking is a science. You can't just kind of throw things in there and stick it in the oven and, oh, I think it's done, or I think that's about right, because it'll come out too runny. The cake will be too runny or overcooked or too dry. So baking is a science. Cooking is like, I think I'm going to throw in a pinch of this and a pinch of that and whatever your palate or your tongue desires. So keep that in mind. Please, brothers and sisters. Okay, so that's about 2 tablespoons. And once again, this is extra, so I'm going to just stick that aside. I don't need a lot because it's just for dipping, and plus, it's just me that's going to be eating this tonight. So, next is 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. This is a Meyer lemon. How can you tell? The Meyer lemons, can you see that? Yeah, you can see it. How do you like my lemon? Anyway, the Meyer lemon is really smooth on the outside, nice and smooth, okay? And it actually has a slightly different flavor than a regular lemon. It's like a little sweet, believe it or not. But here's the key. What you want to do is you want to take it and just gently kind of roll it like this, okay, on the counter. And this has also been washed on the counter or on the cutting board. And the reason why is because when you're rolling it like this and playing with it, you can just do it like a couple times really hard. What it's doing is it's breaking up the lemon innards. It's breaking up the inside and it's releasing the juices, okay? So that's why you want to do that. And then you carefully, so you don't slice a finger off and leave it in the cocktail sauce. You'll never know the difference because it's red just like your blood. Anyway, and so you just slice it like this carefully. And once again, I'm going to wing it about 2 tablespoons. Of course, you can measure if you'd like and use proper. One of these days, I'm going to have a freaking camera crew, so I don't have to be down here talking like this. But anyway, or doing this, right? Back to where we were. Okay, Patricia, back on track. So I'm going to wing it. Let's see. So I cut it right in half. That's probably about 2 tablespoons, a half a lemon. And if you have one of those juicer things like this, see, with the bottom, and then you stick it up here and you put it upside down and you juice it with your hand and use your muscles. Actually, you don't want to hang off the slave joints. You want to come from the core, okay? But anyway, I'm not going to use it because it's a small amount. So I'm just going to go old school and do this. So take the fork. Here's another little trusty tool, utensil. And you stick it in the center, right? And then you hold with the other hand and you just twist back and forth, back and forth. And I'm thinking, as I watch the seeds tumble out in there, that's probably about 2 teaspoons. Ooh, it's making me pucker. It just seems so sour and it's affecting my brain and my body by making me want to pucker up. So anyway, I'm going to put that aside. You know why?
You guessed it, y'all. I'm gonna actually put a little bit of sea salt on it later, and I'm gonna eat the whole damn thing. Tastes good, and it's good for the body too. Helps balance the pH in the body. So, of course, I have some seeds in there. Mira, mira, look, look. See the little seeds in there? Don't worry, I'm gonna take them out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab let's go grab this spoon. And I'm just gonna poke them out. Well, I'm not gonna poke them. I'm gonna scoop them out, those two little seeds, and I'm just gonna take them to the sink like this and dump them in there. Okay, so no more seeds in the cocktail sauce. So what's next? What's next is the recipe called for, okay, now I'm gonna turn this off because actually it's getting too hot and there's not gonna be anything worse than having it smoke and maybe even get too hot, and then it can be dangerous, number one. You don't want to start an oil fire, or it'll start kind of tasting like a little burned if you overheat it and get it really smoky. Because this is actually, we'll talk about the oil later. I'm getting ahead of myself. So anyway, back to the cocktail sauce. So the recipes that I saw called for distilled vinegar, white vinegar, and I said I ain't got any of those in this kitchen here. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this Napa Valley Naturals oak aged organic white wine vinegar. Yes, peeps, it's got a little bit of white wine, but don't worry, it's vinegar. So the recipe is a tablespoon. So once again, yeah, okay. So that's a tablespoon. So let's put this aside. And then, recipes call for various things like horseradish sauce, Worcestershire sauce, or Worcestershire, whatever. I don't know which one's appropriate. Don't matter. Fresh garlic, so on and so forth. So I don't have the Worcestershire sauce. I don't have horseradish sauce. But I thought, yeah, you know what? I'm still going to make do and make some freaking cocktail sauce to go with my calamari. So in this case, I just have salt, pepper. You saw the spices. So I'm just going to crack some salt in there. Or grind, I should say. You grind the salt. And then you crack the pepper. So grind, and I don't know how much that was. And then here's the whole peppercorns that are being ground in there. And then, let's see, what else? Since I don't have fresh garlic, I'm just gonna take some of my garlic powder that was hanging out in the pantry cabinet, and I'm gonna shake a little bit in that. And then, yes, a little bit, because I like a little bite. I'm Latina, I like the spice. Anyway, so some, what is this one anyway? Chili powder, okay? A little bit of chili powder, not a lot. That's kind of Tex-Mex, Southwestern chili powder flavor. And then I have some cayenne. This little dry spice will kick it up. So I'm just going to do a little dab of that. I said I don't need a lot. Just kind of for taste. And you know what? If you like it spicier like your women, add some more. Okay? Some people don't like spice at all. And or it upsets their stomach. So let me put these aside for now. So, there you have it. So now what I'm going to do, what am I going to do? Yo, golly, you know what? Whenever I make videos at night, a little crazy. I had a 2-hour drive on the way home today, and I had a lot of things going on in my head. It's the holidays. Oh, I gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta be here, gotta be there, all that kind of stuff. So I get a little kind of flighty, if you will. Maybe I need to ground myself with a big, fat, chunky, rare ribeye steak, pasture-raised, grass-fed, grass-finished, of course. Bless the animal, yes. Anyway, see, I get a little off track. So maybe I should start making them in the morning again, or early afternoon. Anyway, so all you gotta do is like mix it, like so. And I could have used my trusty little whisk here, but the spoon was in here already, and plus that means I don't have to wash it later. Put that back. Mix it up a little bit. And then, see the consistency? Here, let me move this over and get some light. Some more appropriate lighting for you all. See, that's better. Man, it doesn't take a nuclear scientist to figure this stuff out. And maybe sometimes it does because I'm too much in my head. So angle, angle. There you go. And then see, just mix it up. And the consistency is like a nice little paste. I know all of you had cocktail sauce at least once in your life too. So what do? I'm going to just put it on the tip of my finger like this. I'm going to taste it. That's good. Yeah, you know what? That's really good. You could make it... Hello. There you go. You can make it a little thinner or more runny. And how would you do that? You could even add a little bit of water. I would not advise adding more white vinegar. Actually, you know what? I would advise it. Watch this. Yeah, just a couple splashes. Why? Because I wanted it a little thinner. But I didn't want to put too much vinegar to make it too watery. And I didn't want to put too much vinegar to make it too strong with that vinegar flavor. And then you can add a pinch of sugar. Let's see, where's my sugar? Why is that? Because here's a pinch of organic sugar. Because then you have the flavor of the sweet and salt. And I mean, literally, y'all. It's literally a pinch. See that? Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. A little pinch with the fingers. A pinch between your cheek and gum. No, that's tobacco stuff. This is just fooling around. Screw it around in the kitchen. So there was my little pinch of sugar. And then a couple more stirs. Now I'm going to do my taste test. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my finger. Yeah, that's good. And you know, here's the cool thing. This is my domain. This is my kingdom. This is my realm. So when I'm in the kitchen, it's my rules. If I want to take that and put it on my finger and stick it in my mouth and lick it up and taste it, I will. Of course, on your professional television shows, they're not going to do that. I can't see whatever her name is. Ina Gardner, is that her name, Sister Deborah? She's very docile and demure, and she talks like this. Today, we're going to go to the garden and clip some roses. No, that's not me. So anyway, she probably doesn't lick her finger like that either, or lick a fork or anything, especially on camera. I bet you she does it off camera. So let's just call this authentic here, being authentic. So there you have it, the cocktail sauce. And the cool thing is that if it's not sweet enough or too tart, you know, play with the ingredients. Trust yourself. Don't be shy. This is about being curious and exploring those parts of yourself that you wouldn't normally explore. Do it in the kitchen. Be creative. Have fun. And then you get to eat it when you're done. Okay, so cocktail sauce is just going to set aside. I could even stick it in the refrigerator if I want, but I'm not. I'm going to leave it here, let it sit room temperature. But I'm going to put it aside, get it out of the way, and put this up out of the way and a couple of these things because I need a little bit of room. So hold on 1 second. Don't go away. I'm just putting some utensils in. Okay, so I'm going to turn this back on. And yes, this video is going to be a little longer. And the reason why is because I'm cooking two things. Actually, I didn't cook that. I mixed up the cocktail sauce. But now I'm going to go into the process of the calamari recipe. So therefore, if I didn't do the cocktail sauce, it would have been a quicker video. So just bear with me, hang in there. Trust me, it's going to be well worth your wait. And mine too, because I get to eat it. All right, so what do I have? Let me bring them over here to you. Let's see. So the next ingredients, of course, first and foremost, Okay, let's move the camera again. Here we go. We need a better lighting here. So first and foremost, of course, if I'm gonna make calamari, I need freaking calamari, like squid. So these are squid rings, literally. I got them at the freezer section at the grocery store. I went to Barron's and purchased them there. You can get them at any grocery store. You just want to make sure that they're wild caught. Okay, so that's the calamari. And I already took a handful out and stuck them on a plate here. Can you see that? Sorta, the lighting. Once again, the lighting. Here, let me help. But anyway, it doesn't matter. They're there. Trust me on that one. You'll see them when I pick them up. So I stuck them on the plate to kind of let them thaw out a little more. Put those aside. And then the next ingredient is the fat. How are you going to fry them or saute them? You need some form of fat. I never would recommend, oh look, I'm wearing my mucklucks. Can you see my mucklucks? How random is that? And the reason why I brought to my attention is because one of them's slipping off my foot, and it looks like I have this really big thing on my foot that's slipping all over the place, and I don't want to trip and have a face plant in the hot oil. But anyway, so the oil I'm using today is this beautiful, this is not a vegan cooking show today, so vegans, cut me off now, brothers and sisters. We'll catch up later when I do a non-meat or non-eyes recipe. This is Hudson Valley Frogua duck fat. It's delicious. It's an amazing, amazing flavor, so I'm going to use duck fat today. The other alternatives, healthy alternatives, are, again, organic valley ghee, which is clarified butter, and then you can use extra virgin coconut oil. This is from Sprouts. You can also use avocado oil. What else? Let's see. I would never use olive oil for cooking, especially at high, because it can become carcinogenic. What's the other one I'm thinking of? It's on the tip of my grapeseed oil. But anyway, so you have many options. I'm going to use a duck fat because it's going to be a nice flavor. And then you need to have a dry base and then a wet base so that they can adhere and make a crispy coating, or not so crispy, for the calamari. So in this case, I'm using, hold on one second. Well, I have several options. All of these are wonderful. There's, and once again, they're all organic. I got them at a great health food store, Mother's Market and Kitchen, one of my favorite stores. So this is coconut flour by Arrowhead Mills, okay? Coconut flour, and these are gluten-free. And then I have the same Arrowhead Mills, all-purpose organic flour. And the last one is Otto's cassava flour. Remember Otto's? I made tortillitas with Otto's. Well, I'm going to try Otto's today. This is cassava flour, which I mentioned earlier in the prior video, the tortilla video. Oh my God, slow down, Patricia. Just breathe. This is yucca root. It's like the latest craze, except Latinos and other indigenous cultures have been using it for a long time. So let me put these away because I like to have space and be tidy in the kitchen. Okay, so those are my main ingredients, the flour ingredients, okay? Cassava flour, again, salt, pepper, and then I'm going to use a little bit of, I'm going to keep the flavor simple here, a little bit of garlic powder. So 1 second, grab that, bring it back. And then my, ooh, yeah, see, look what's happening. See that oil is starting to smoke? Can you see it? So I'm going to turn it down. Now I'm going to turn it all the way to low, and I'm going to turn the fan on because I don't want my smoke alarm to go off. It's really loud. It would be annoying. And then I have to take like a towel and jump up with the blanket and, you know, get the smoke out of there so it'll stop beeping. Anyway, so that's hot now. And let me see if I can show you that test. Remember the test? You stick the wooden spoon in the hot oil, and if it bubbles, it's freaking hot and ready. Let's see. Kind of like your last date. Hot and ready. All right, where was I? Let's see. Yeah, come on. I know you can see that. If I can see it, you can see it. Okay? See that? That tells me that I started to cook that I started to cook the spoon. That's okay. It's mine. I can use it. It has character. Look. Mira, mira. Look, look. Too funny. That means it's really ready and hot. So now I turned it all the way on low. So let me put this back here so I don't bounce it all over the place. Or better yet, up here. Okay. So my dry ingredients, I said, the flour, salt, pepper, dry spice. In this case, it's going to be calamari or garlic. And then you need to have a wet ingredient. So I have this pan. You can use a little platter, but you need to have something deep enough so that you can whisk. Once again, this is not vegan. You can whisk a pasture-raised egg and a little bit of whole milk or cream. Why? Because that's going to help you. That's going to help you make your batter. Okay, so 1 second here. Wow, we're already at 26 minutes. Okay, so you take the egg, and this is not a glass egg. No, it's not a glass egg. It's no hell. Where did that come from? It's not a glass bowl. See, I told you I'm getting tired. But that's okay. My glass bowl is over there. But that's okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use this. And the reason why, I think these are the same size. I'll use this one, it's a little smaller. I like you to be able to see inside the bowl, to see what I'm doing. I think it makes it more fun. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crack the egg in here. And I need to angle my camera again so you can see what's happening in here. So crack the egg in the bowl. And then now, there. See? There's that one egg. And then I have a little container of half and half, right? I'm just going to shake it up. You could also use whole milk, but they didn't have any organic, so I've just got half and half. So I'm going to shake it up just to mix the fats in there. Pop it open. And then just put a splash, maybe, I don't know. That was probably about a tablespoon. Yeah. And then all you do is whip it good. Remember? Remember Devo? Da-na-na-na-na. Crack that whip. Man, my voice. Oh well, it's okay. It's not about singing anyway. It's about cooking in the kitchen and having fun, enjoying your experience of yourself, which is what I do. And okay, so there. So you just whip it till it's blended. You don't want it really thick, so that's not too thick. You can see that consistency there. Okay, and then put this aside because I may need it later. Get rid of this egg because it's I don't need that shell anymore. Rinse my hands because the egg yolk was sticky. Eggshell is sticky. Okay, so that's going to be put aside for now because here's the next step. Let me show you this. I'm going to move you over here so the lighting's maybe a little better. But anyway, so now what's going to happen? Now what you have to do is you have to take the calamari, the raw calamari rings, and you need to dip them in a dry ingredient, no, the wet ingredient first, which is the egg and the milk or the cream, half and half. And then when you dip them in that, then you take them out and then you drudge them in the dry flour and spice mixture. That's how you start to make your coating, which you're going to cook up in the hot pan there. Okay? Now you have different options to do that. You can get, once again, you can get a dish like this and you put your flour, your dry ingredient, your dry spice, mix it up with your hands. And then once you you dip it in the egg, then you throw it in here and then you use your hands to toss it. That's fine, and that absolutely works. I used to do that for many, many, many years. And then I realized that's really freaking messy. So you can do this. You can take one of these organic produce bags. I have a lot of extra ones. And you can put your dry ingredients in here and then throw your wet calamari in there and then take it like this and shake it up. You know, like shake and bake. I don't know if I'm dating myself, but shake and bake was this cheesy recipe, and you just shook it in a bag and then you fried it or baked it. So, but it's a great technique because it's not real messy. Then when you're done, you just throw the bag away. Or you don't have those hanging around because you're not thrifty. or you just don't want to hold on to the plastic bags. I mean, you can reuse them, and if they're going to make them and you're going to use them, and maybe I'll, yeah, start not using those as much. Come to think of it, that's a whole different subject. Then they have the Ziploc baggies, and I don't even know how I got these because I don't buy Ziploc baggies, but you can put the ingredients in here and do the same thing, shake it up, and it's not as messy. Or you can do this. This is a Mother's grocery paper bag, which I save when I do use them, when I forget my, when I forget my reusable bags in my car at the grocery store. I usually grab 1 or 2 of those. So what are you going to do with it? Well, I use them for the fire when I start my fires. You can cut them like this with scissors, right? And then open them up this way. Stick your dry ingredients in here, the flour. Yeah, this really works. The flour and the spices, then your wet calamari egg batter, and then you close it and you shake them up like this, right? I swear these work. These are great methods. So which one do I want to use? I think I'm going to use, because it's here, I'm going to use a plastic bag. And please no judgment on this one. In terms of, actually I'm judging myself about why are you still using plastic bags at the grocery store? These, you can stick your your Swiss chard or your kale just in the basket. You don't need this, you know, but sometimes there's water, so it's like, anyway, that's a big story. Never mind. Golly gee, where was I? Okay, so, here. I'm going to take about, and look, I'm not measuring it, okay? I'm just going to angle the camera, first of all, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take probably about half a cup to start. I don't want to waste this. This is really precious, and it ain't cheap. Got it on sale, but well worth it. So I'm going to shake it in the plastic bag. Like I said, probably to start, no, yeah, about a half a cup, okay? Half a cup, just shaking it in the bag there. You can see that. Put that aside. And then again, open it up. Let me open it up a little more. I like to try to get my videos under 30 minutes at the most, but I'm in the process. I ain't gonna quit now, y'all. So crack the pepper, salt, but now I'm gonna speed it up a little bit because if you're still watching, you're probably drooling and snoring by now. Oh God. Then you'll wake up with the smell. Scratch and sniff screen. And then here's my garlic powder, okay? And then you're gonna mix it up like this. There, see, shaking it. So you mix it up. So what happens next? Here's where the messy part comes in. That's why I always have a wet towel on the side. You do this. You bring your egg batter over, your egg mixture there. You bring your raw seafood, the calamari rings in this case. You dip a few of them in the egg batter, like so. Okay. Let's get the bigger ones here. And see, these are really cute rings. That one's almost ripped. Doesn't matter, it's still in the shape of a ring. So because of the size of my skillet, it's not really big, and I don't want to crowd them. I'm just going to put in like 4. And see what I'm doing? I'm just literally using my fingers. Yeah, it gets a little messy and gooey, but that's okay. You're having fun, right? I think it's fun. It's it takes me back to my childhood again, playing in the mud and in the dirt. And then you take them and you throw them into the bag with your dry ingredients. And this is where the trusty wet towel comes in handy. And then you grab it like this, right? Shake it like this. So see, I have one clean hand and one that's not so clean because it was going in the food. But if I was doing it by hand, if I were doing it by hand, my hands would be all full of gooky, wet flour and stuff, which is okay too. So then they're evenly distributed in there. Look at that here. Right there. There, somewhere around there. Anyway, I trust you can see that. Okay, so here you have it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to move my camera over here without dropping it in the hot oil. That would really suck. And I'm going to angle it down here to the best of my ability. No, no, don't do that. Hold on. It's loosening on me. You know, if there's a freaking camera crew out there that wants to take this job over and I'll just do the cooking, please PM me. Let me come back here because I know this will work. I gotta make it work. I am not a quitter. So I'll leave it right about here. Get these out of the way. This is probably most of the freaking video playing with this tripod and watching this camera roll all over the place. All right, so here it is. You gotta be really careful during this portion because that oil, as you know, is really hot. Look at what it did to my spoon. See that? Got cooked in the end there. And then I have my plate with the little paper towel to absorb, you know, the grease. Actually, I'm gonna put it here close to the pan so it's not dripping oil everywhere. I have my trusty tongs. So what I do is gently just take one of these out of the bag and place it here. Oh yeah, already it's frying up. Really nice and slow, because if you throw it in, you can splat that hot oil on your body. And you want to place it away from you, away, okay? And even with me gently putting it in there, it's still bubbly up. That's why I'm wearing long sleeves. So taking the flour, the calamari from here out of the bag, see, and shaking it a little bit, and then bringing it over to the pan and gently placing it in, away from you. Okay, so then, oh, I know what I forgot to tell you. I forgot to tell you how much oil to put in the pan. You know, so, how much oil do you put in the pan? I say, for this particular recipe, I want to show you these first too. Man, my hair looks nasty. Should have put it in a ponytail. Anyway, it's okay. I love you, hair. I do. So there you go. Look at that. Listen to them sizzle, sizzle. They already smell really good. How much oil? That was approximately 2 tablespoons of duck fat, or any other kind of fat you want to use. There's a good chance, because the flour is absorbing the oil as it's cooking, and I haven't flipped them over yet, there's a good chance the oil may start to dwindle. So what you do is you just play it by ear. Add another tablespoon of oil. But you don't want to start cooking the seafood in there, the food, until the oil is hot, because then it just absorbs all the grease. Like, it gets too much, absorbs too much grease unless the oil is really hot. So let me show you this. And here you want to gently flip them over, carefully as you can, because like I said, it's really hot in there. That one got away from me. And you know, as much fun as I have in the kitchen, whether it's on camera with you all or by myself, believe it or not, I do enjoy my time alone, and I do enjoy being alone, and I do enjoy my own company. I do enjoy my company in the kitchen when I'm cooking for myself. As much fun as it is, you really have to be very mindful and aware of your surroundings, because I'm working with hot oil here, and yeah, I'm having a good time and being goofy at times and experiencing myself as goofy and in my childlike innocence, fun. But it's still something that's very serious, cooking around heat and hot oil and hot food. Hot food can burn you. That smells really good. So let me take the camera back. How do you know it's done? Well, that looks pretty damn good. It's turning, see how it's turned brown? Let me see if I can come over on this side. Yeah, you see it's brown around the edges. And
that's an indication that it's cooking, that it's, it's cooking nicely. And man, I know why I don't do this very often, because the stove is all splattered with grease. So one of the things I'm going to do, I forgot to tell you about the heat. I turned it down to low because it was smoking, remember? I'm going to turn it to like medium high. No. Medium, low, medium. And in this stove, that's probably about a 2. And the reason why is because I don't want to overcook this stuff. Because if you overcook it, a couple things happen. It dries it out. But even worse than that, it turns it like rubbery. Who wants rubbery food? And once again, you're better off cooking it a little undercooked, because it will continue to cook. So let's take it out now. Let me come over here. Hold on. And now I'm going to angle my camera because I want free hands here. Because, like I said, I'm working with hot food, and it would not be wise to not be very present right now with 2 hands. So, that looks good. Look at that. So right here on the plate, the smaller pieces will cook quicker. Don't want to lose the grip of my tongs. So there. So let me take out the smaller pieces. Alright, so here are the first 4 pieces that I had cooked up. So that's calamari rings. Those are calamari rings. Very simple, very tasty. But what I'm going to do, now that my first batch is made, I'm going to come back here and finish this part, right? Make a second batch. So how would I do that? Grab the rest of the rings here, and I'm just going to toss them inside the little egg dish. Actually, I'm not going to toss them because there's a little bit of water in the plate, on the plate. Hold on one second. Put that away. And then I'm going to toss them up with my fingers to mix them up. Get all the egg batter, the egg and cream in there. And then I'm going to check my oil, because if that oil is too low, I'm going to make up another batch. Then I need to add a little more oil. So I've just decided I am going to add a little more oil. So how do I do that? I just take the duck fat like this and just scoop it out with the tong. And that's probably a little less than a tablespoon. And just plop it right in there. See? I just plopped it right in there. It's already melting. So let's come back here. And it's heating up. Okay, so remember, we just took the rings, and then we just took them from there to the plastic bag or the paper bag or the dish, whatever you want to use. Throw them in there. Use my wet towel to wipe the hands. Gather this bag up or whatever you're using. If you don't have a bag, then you just use your hands in the dish to toss them, and then shake them up. I like to get a little bit of air in there because it gives them more room to move around. There, and shake them up just like that, and it's starting to distribute the flour coating around the rings. And then from here to the pan, very gentle, like I said. Remember, it's really hot. Woohoo! Really hot. Hold on. Okay. Angle the camera. My phone even has grease splats on it. So there it goes. See that? And I will tell you, based on my experience,
being in the kitchen. These are going to cook a lot faster. And the reason why is because the oil has already been heated. So the oil's really hot, hotter than the first batch. So, and I turned it up, remember, to medium low. So actually I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And then I'm going to start flipping them again. So hold on. Put this back where it belongs, in the safe spot. Okay. Oh, these are actually going to look more toasted brown. Very gently tossing them, or don't toss them, very gently flipping them over. Okay. Yeah, see? And you know what? I'm going to turn the flame off. Why? Just like I always said, turn the flame off because they're still cooking. I don't want them to get overcooked, dried out, and rubbery consistency. So, now, the those are done. I'm going to bring my original plate over. Oh. First of all, I'm going to put a little bit of salt on these. On this one. I'm going to try that one. I'm going to try this one. This is with no sauce on it. That's really good. I swear. If you were here, I'd give you some. It's really good. High in protein, low in bad fats, low in fat, high in protein, and really good. So, that said, I offer you consider making this for the family. The kids will love it. You don't even have to tell them it's squid. So you're probably wondering what happened to my tartar sauce. Or I don't know why I keep saying tartar sauce. There, what happened to my cocktail sauce? Here it is. So now what do I have? I have the cocktail sauce, the delicious calamari that I just made, right? So I think I'm going to take one that's not as hot. These are really hot on this side. I just took them out. And I'm just going to take a little spoon here. I'm using my fingers. Put a little bit of that right there. Now I get to have a bite. It's really good. So, there you have it. Homemade cocktail sauce. Well, the tomato paste came from a can. Homemade cocktail sauce, which you could have purchased, but it's fun to make it. And calamari rings. That's my treat tonight, my simple little dinner. And I wanted to share one last thing. It's Christmas time, the holiday season, and everybody has a different food cultures at home. My first husband was Italian, and what we did for Christmas, well, what the Italians do for Christmas Eve, is they have seafood. So we would have a big feast of different fried foods, fried fish, and calamari could be one of them. All right, man, this is the longest frickin' video I've made. 50 minutes right now. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you again.